folks. This is Carlton with Carlton's Travel Adventures and other things. So, tonight, I want to talk to you about a topic that I've been thinking about for the last couple of weeks. It was spurred by a friend of mine. We're talking about something. Might have been about getting the type of food I like here. And I like spicy foods, and Colombia does not have spicy foods. One of the reasons I don't eat as much as I should is I like, jerk chicken, jerk pork. I don't eat pork, but they have jerk pork, spicy in Jamaica. Spicy patties. The patties are like empanadas. Patties is spicy. The roti and curry chicken. Just I like spicy foods, and just can't get it here. Okay, and I think that was the topic we were talking about. And a person made a comment like, because I can't get what I want, plus other things. What do you expect? You're in a third world country. And I thought to myself, kind of a stupid response, because if I was in Russia, I couldn't get those things anyway. I don't think. Okay. So that's when I keep thinking about it for weeks now. About, is Colombia a third world country? Okay. And even if it is, does it matter? Is it even a relevant topic or relevant conversation? If you like where you are, the people are happy, does it matter if it's a third world country? And what makes a third world country? Let's go to some definition, right? There are a few out there. Let me just give you two of them, right? It's undeveloped nations of the world, comma, especially those with widespread poverty, right? Quickly, if you know the U.S., there are plenty of places in the U.S. with widespread poverty. I'll get back to that in a minute. Second definition. Group of developing nations, comma, especially of Africa and Asia, that do not align themselves with the policies of either the U.S. or the former Soviet Union. I think if you go back to the 1950s sometime, if you weren't the U.S. or the Soviet Union, you were considered a third world country. They were the two superpowers, okay? So, there are probably some others out there. I haven't gotten to go through all of them. But I think it has to do with more the economics of the country. And if that's the only thing that counts, is it that relevant, right? It does make you happier being in a well-developed country. You can have a lot more problems with money. So people who go to the United States, especially Colombians and everywhere else, Jamaicans, Colombian, Cubans, people over in Europe, for the opportunities to work, okay? Peruvian, they want an opportunity to work and make money, and opportunities are better in the U.S. than they are here. That's a point to be taken. When we talk about poverty, though, look at a lot of places in the U.S. and there's poverty. Before you came to the United States, especially I'm talking personally too, I probably have the same experience, guys that do not, weren't born in the U.S. You see all these things on TV. It's nothing but the better things for the U.S. You see New York City, you see Ferraris, Lamborghinis, you see L.A., you see San Francisco, Chicago, only the best part of Chicago. You never really see the poverty in the U.S. And the U.S. has a lot of poverty, okay? If you travel around the U.S., my brother went to Morehead State in Kentucky, the same college, was here the same time as Phil Sims, Actually, I saw Phil Sims practicing when he was in college. Went to visit my brother at Morehead State, And if you drive the back roads going up into Kentucky, you see some poverty. You go to Virginia, West Virginia, and you travel those places, which I have, you see some poverty. You go to Alabama, South Georgia, so you see even the Bronx, you see New York, New Jersey, some parts of Camden, you see some serious poverty, okay? So, is part of the U.S. third world? So just thought, So half the U.S. is first world and half is third world, or third is third world. Just thinking through it. If that's the gauge, is that the better jobs and better economy, when not everyone is participating in a great economy. So I don't know, let's go to, I could probably get a chart and go to GDP, death rate, birth rate, poverty rate, but does it matter? I think it doesn't really matter when you do all this stuff. Depends on your circumstances. Just like you have a lot of poor folks in the U.S., a lot of rich folk in the U.S. You do have rich folks here in Colombia, rich folks here in Peru. If you have your smarts, you can start a business right in Colombia and make money. Okay? There are doctors here, lawyers here. I've seen some Mercedes-Benz in this neighborhood and so forth. People do make money. So this depends on your personal circumstances. Whether if you go to PriceSmart, you can buy a lot of stuff from the U.S. Stuff you get in the U.S. You don't normally get them in Consumo or Exito. Go to PriceSmart, it's like a Costco's. Get a lot of stuff from the U.S. Okay, so if I really wanted to get some stuff, I could. I could ship some stuff in. I have a buddy that ships stuff in a box. Food, ship my jerk chicken, season in, and get a cook. I could make my own patties. I've done it before, even in the U.S. Get my seasoning, ship them in. So if I really wanted to, I could ship those things in. Am I now in a first world country? Could I get my stuff I want? I don't know, It's just questions that you have to think through. You go to Bogota, you go Poblado, look at it. Poblado has some neighborhoods that rival anyone in New York and New Jersey where I grew up. You go to Bogota, you have Zona Rosa, has some neighborhoods I've been in, where it's just looks just like parts of New York City, like Fifth Avenue, and so forth. Really nice neighborhoods, So is that part of Colombia now first world? And other parts, like the Comuna, third world? Say the same thing about the U.S. then. So part of it in New York City is first world, and then the Bronx and the ghetto parts of West Virginia, Alabama, and those parts of the U.S. is that third world. So do you have a combination of both in each country? That's what I'm trying to say. I know the answer. Just think through it. As I look through, we have some things here I noticed that are better than the U.S. Okay. I'm going to show you a clip of the path they have on the sidewalks for blind people. I saw them. I never really took notice of it. I know what it was for until like a month ago. Okay. They don't have that in the U.S. No, they don't have, places to help blind people walk down the street. They don't have that in the U.S. Now, is that first world here? Because Colombia has that. Colombia has a lot more parks. The mayor of Colombia has made an effort to build a lot more parks and soccer stadium and soccer, playgrounds for these kids. They don't have as many in the U.S. The parks with the free Wi-Fi. I don't know, help me out here. How many parks, free Wi-Fi they have in the U.S.? Maybe some small cities I'm not aware of. Big cities I'm from, like when I lived in Houston, in Miami, New York City, New Jersey, I didn't find any parks with free Wi-Fi. Maybe they're changed now. If I'm wrong, help me out. But I never found any parks with free Wi-Fi. They have it here. Is that first world that the U.S. doesn't have? We have, this is big malls. We have the mall in Oviedo. We have all the big malls in Santa Fe Mall. That's as big as any mall in the U.S. Find just as many products. So are we first world in that area? We have, the theaters, big theaters just like the U.S. People are happier. So what I'm trying to say is, one, it might not matter if it's the third world or first world or third world, and maybe there's a combination of both in each country. This is my thinking here. What are your thoughts about that? Is Colombia a third world country? Give me some feedback. All right? Maybe my thinking is way off. You said it makes no sense. I think it does. I think the combination of first world and third world in both places, both the U.S. and here. The U.S. does not close down streets on a Sunday so people can walk, get to know your neighbors, exercise. They don't have that in the U.S. They have it here. To me, that's first world. That's not a third world. It's an idea that belongs in the U.S. They don't have it. So I think there's a combination of first and third world in every country. all right? And not because the U.S. saying you're a bigger capital base and, you know, you're a richer country. That should be the only item that makes you, you know, a first world country versus a third world country. Internet is fast here like the U.S. Phone system is good. So, what are your thoughts? You know, you can give me some feedback, all right? I'd appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a good night.